Most fantasy epics begin with a legendary hero charging into glorious battle. This story starts with Rincewind, a spectacularly cowardly, third-rate wizard, cowering in a sinking wooden boat alongside an oblivious tourist named Twoflower. That tonal whiplash is the hallmark of beloved fantasy author Terry Pratchett. He built an entire universe designed to take traditional fantasy tropes, turn them sideways, and expose their cosmic absurdity. Right now, our protagonists are trapped in a vicious ocean current, dragging them directly toward the Rimfall, the literal watery edge of a flat planet where the seas constantly empty out into the starry void. They snag onto the circumfence, a massive net strung along the world's edge by a sea troll, only to be immediately scooped up by a squad of Cruelian hydromages skimming through the air on a glowing glass lens. In Cruel, surviving the edge of the world is merely the first hurdle. The hydromages ensure that anyone who escapes the waterfall is immediately processed into the city's slave labor pool. That entity is the Kingdom of Krull. Perched on the absolute precipice of the world, it is a civilization of scientists and astronomers entirely obsessed with uncovering the mechanical truths of the cosmos. Their ultimate project is the Potent Voyager, a bronze spaceship dropping over the edge to determine the gender of Great Atuan, the world-carrying star turtle. To guarantee this risky flight, fate struck a deal for two specific sacrifices, Rincewind and Twoflower. Fate has calculated their deaths down to the millisecond, leaving the prisoners in a cell where even the architecture seems designed to remind them of their coming execution. When a cosmic entity personally signs your death warrant and adjusts the laws of probability to ensure your execution, a logical escape plan becomes mathematically impossible. Then, the locked cell is visited by the only deity capable of opposing fate. She doesn't use a name, but gamblers know her as the Lady, the goddess of luck. She cannot rewrite fate's grand design or smash through his divine mandates. What she can do is slide into the margin of error, offering a microscopic, highly improbable window of opportunity. That window opens thanks to a delayed magical spell wearing off. A wine bottle that Rincewind threw 8 hours earlier suddenly resumes its trajectory and finds its target, instantly knocking out their guard. What follows is a frantic sprint through the sprawling Cruelian palace. There is no stealth and no strategy, just two terrified men weaving wildly through courtyards and corridors to outrun the heavily armed security force. They stumble into a ready room and find the two Chelonauts, the intended pilots of the spaceship. Driven by pure panic, Rincewind improvises an ambush, bludgeoning the pilots with a brass telescope so he and Twoflower can steal their heavy copper spacesuits. This sequence of statistical anomalies, from a guard knocked out by his own past to a wizard swinging a telescope in a blind panic, proves that if you move fast enough, the laws of probability struggle to keep up. Rincewind is successfully navigating the only path fate didn't see coming, the one paved with sheer, unadulterated chaos. Out in the execution arena, the tension mimics a high-stakes showdown. Rows of elite mages chant in unison, and the arch-astronomer waits impatiently for the sacrificial blood that will bless the launch. The ceremony is violently interrupted by Twoflower's luggage. It is a large, heavily reinforced wooden trunk with dozens of little legs and a fiercely homicidal dedication to its owner, and it charges directly into the amphitheater. The arch-astronomer responds with overwhelming force. He unleashes a blinding, concentrated storm of raw octarine-negical energy directly at the rampaging wooden trunk. The smoke clears to reveal a very stubborn box. Built from sapient pearwood, the luggage is completely immune to magic. The realization that their ultimate weapons are useless against a piece of traveling furniture shatters the composure of the elite mages as they break ranks and scramble for the exits. Rincewind and Twoflower use the chaos to sprint for the launch pad. As the massive bronze ship begins to roll down the rails, Twoflower excitedly dives through the open hatch, eager to see the stars. Overwhelming, world-ending magical power collapses when faced with a wooden box that simply doesn't understand it's supposed to be incinerated. The Kingdom of Krull threw everything they had at a trunk, inadvertently clearing a path to the cosmic void. The grand escape immediately dissolves into anticlimax. Rincewind makes a desperate leap for the accelerating spaceship, misses entirely, and plummets backward over the edge of the roaring waterfall. His fall halts miraculously when he crashes into a scrawny, thorny tree jutting from the rocks, leaving him dangling over the endless, starry gulf of space. A tall, black-robed figure with a scythe appears beside him in the mist, but when the hood pulls back, it isn't death. He is handling a plague in Pseudopolis. This is Scrofula, a frustrated middle management demon filling in for the day. Hanging over the abyss, Rincewind manages to be difficult. He starts pointing out that fear isn't a recognized cause of death and demands to see a supervisor, effectively stonewalling his own demise by refusing to cooperate with a temp. Furious at being undermined, Scrofula takes a wild, frustrated swing with his scythe. He misses the wizard entirely, but slices cleanly through the fragile tree branch, sending Rincewind falling once again. The universe is an endlessly terrifying place, governed by cruel gods and vast, uncaring physics. But the greatest adventures belong to those who simply, stubbornly refuse to die on schedule.